So after we had talked about in the last segment ست أسباب من الغيبة مباح, the 6 reasons for the permissibility of backbiting, then we want to move on to the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he says, إذا قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب الكريم في سورة الحجرات إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. And when a sinful person comes to you with a narration, verify it. وفي رواية فتثبتوا. Some of the Salaf that used to say فتثبتوا, يعني, and some of them say فتبينوا, to clarify the authenticity of the statement, or the thabat, to make affirmation certain of this statement. If you don't, you're going to afflict the people with your ignorance, as it relates to ruling by the statement of a fasiq without verifying it. فَتُصْبِحُ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ فَتُصْبِحُ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ. Then you will be very regretful for what you have fallen into. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned concerning Hukm al-Khadif, the one who accuses. That means the one who accuses someone of illegal. The one who accuses someone else of illegal sexual intercourse or homosexuality. And Tabarak wa Ta'ala said about these people, as we had mentioned, فَإِلَّمْ يَأْتُوا بِأَرْبَعَةِ شُهَدَاءَ فَجِلْدُوهُمْ 80 جلدة فلا تقبلوا شهادة فلا تقبلوا لهم شهادة أبدا وأولئك هم الفاسقون. And if they don't bring 4 witnesses, then they should beat 80 lashes. If they don't bring 4 witnesses, they should be beat 80 lashes. These people, their statement, their testimony will never ever be accepted after that. And these are those, they are the fasiqun. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning fasiqun. And we had said al-fasiq, man taraka amr Allah. Man taraka amr Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who leaves, abandons the obedience, the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, man yuti'illah, whoever obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has also said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul. Oh, you who believe, I command you to obey Allah and I command you to obey His Messenger. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى من يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله. Who obeys the Messenger, it is equal to obeying Allah. It is like that of obeying Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ الرَّسُولِ. Whoever disobeys Allah and disobeys His Messenger, يُدْخِلْهُ النَّارَ وَيَتَعَدَّى حُدُودَهُ, and he transgresses the limits. يُدْخِلْهُ النَّارَ خَالِدًا فِيهَا, then we'll put them in the hellfire. He will abide therein. وَلَهُ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ, or the grievous, humiliating punishment. So fasiq is the one who abandons, he turns away, he leaves from that which Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has commanded him with affair. The one who leaves off the command of Allah and His Messenger, this is what's known to be a fasiq. And here, this story about taking the statement of a fasiq, this is general, where the statement of taking a fasiq as it relates to accusing somebody, then this is specific. This is specific. And that you have to verify the statement of an individual if it is known that he is in opposition to the command of Allah and or His Messenger. where when it comes to the issue of accusing or accusations, then this statement should not be taken except from the one who comes forth or from the witnesses. And this statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when a fasiq comes to you, verify it. This is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Hujurat. في شأن الفسق والمنافق والفاسق. شأن الفسق والفاسق. And it is in the affair, the matter of a fasiq and that which is disobedience. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mentioned that verse that we heard. And this took place in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where بعث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم واحد من أصحابه. The Prophet sent one of his Sahaba to verify something. And this was Khalid ibn Walid. He sent Khalid ibn Walid to verify a story that had came to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned to verify this statement, Ibn Kathir, he says, يَأْمُرُ تعالى بالتثبيت في خبر الفاسق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded the verification of the statement or the narration of a fasiq, the disobedient one. ليحتاط لئلا يحكم بقوله فيكون في نفس الأمر كاذبا أو مخطئا. He said, and the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded that you verify the statement of a fasiq is so that you don't carry the weight of that statement, in order that if that person was to carry that statement and rule with that which came from the fasiq, then it will make that person who makes the ruling in itself a liar due to taking the statement of that individual, and or it will make that person someone who has erred in his judgment, because the judgment will be based upon that which was not true or verified in the first place. قَدْ نَحْيَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى نَعْمْ هَذَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited this. And this is the statement of Ibn Kathir in the tafsir of this ayah. So we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala حرم الله ونهي الله سبحانه وتعالى اتباع الباطل والسبيل المفسدين. So we understand from this that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited the following of the people of falsehood and following the way of those who are the mischief makers. فحينما بعث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وليد بن عقبة. So when Prophet ﷺ, he sent Walid ibn Uqba إلى الحارث وهو حارث ابن ضرارة والد جوارية بنت الحارث المؤمنين ليقبط ما كان عنده من الصدقات. رجع وليد ابن عقبة إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نصف الطريق سبب خوف، فقال لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قد منعني ماذا الزكاة، قد منعني الزكاة وأراد قتلي وهذا عند الإمام أحمد في مسنده. Now, so when the Prophet ﷺ sent Walid ibn Uqba to Harith to collect the sadaqah. And that was Harith. It came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He accepted Islam. And he proposed to the Prophet sallallahu that he would go back to his people. And if his people accepted the Islam, that they would give the zakah. And the Prophet sallallahu agreed. But Harith, he delayed coming back with the zakah. So the Prophet ﷺ sent Walid ibn Uqba to check. And when Harith got halfway to where he was going, when Walid ibn Uqba got halfway to where he was going, Walid ibn Uqba, the one the Prophet ﷺ sent to Harith to check upon the status of those people that were accepting, inshaAllah, Islam and the sadaqah, Walid ibn Uqba became afraid. He became afraid hearing the footsteps of a group of people, and he fled. And when he got back to the Prophet ﷺ, he told the Prophet ﷺ, قَدْ مَعَنِي قَدْ مَاذَا مَنَعَنِي الزَّكَاةِ قَدْ مَعَنِي الزَّكَاةِ They قَدْ مَنَعْنِي مَاذَا الزَّكَاةِ that they did not give me the zakat, and that they had threatened. Harith didn't give me the zakat, he didn't give me the zakat, and he threatened to kill me. So Harith did not give him the zakat, and he threatened to kill him. And this is in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala. Min hadithin thabit mawla Salama radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. وهو عند تفسير إمام الطبري لما كان وليد ابن عقبة بعد الطريق بلغهم أمر فسمع بذلك القوم فتلقوا يؤذمون أمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. And in this hadith, the tafsir of it by Muhammad Jarir al-Tabari, he said that when Walid ibn Uqba was sent, at that time Harith's people heard that someone was being sent to them by the messenger and that they were delayed. So they rushed to, out of respect, go to the Prophet ﷺ first with an explanation of being late in the zakat. حدث طيب ثم قال سلمة قالت فحدثه الشيطان. So Shaitan whispered to Walid ibn Uqba, حدثه الشيطان أنهم يريدون قتله. So the Shaitan whispered to him that the people were coming and they want to kill you. فرجع إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال ما قال كاذبان. نعم فرجع إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال ما قال كاذبان. نعم. So he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the statement that he told him, lying to him. فغضب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Thus the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam became upset. تأثيرا من كلام وليد ibn Uqba. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam became upset from that which Walid ibn Uqba had told him about Harith, and that was Harith refused to give him the zakat and wanted to kill him. حتى ضرب ماذا ضرب البعث إلى الحارث صلى الله عليه وسلم فغضب رسول الله غضبا شديدا من ذلك. فبينما هو يحدث نفسه صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يغزوهم فأنزل الله سبحانه وتعالى أنزل الله تبارك وتعالى في شأن قبر الفاسق إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا الآية. فقال لهذه قتادة فكان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تثبت عليه الصلاة والسلام من الله سبحانه وتعالى. وكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول أتثبت من الله وعجل من الشيطان وكذلك غير واحد من السلف. وهذا أخرجه في صحيح مسلم في رواية وليد بن عقبة ارتدوا عن الإسلام والعياذ بالله. So the narration that comes from the authority of Salama radiyallahu ta'ala anha is the narration that says the shaitan whispered to him that they want to kill him, and he turned back to the Prophet, and said to the Prophet what he said in a lying fashion. And you also had in that narration that the Prophet ﷺ became upset due to what he heard from Uqba ibn Walid, and he had determined inside of himself that he was going to wage war. He was going to wage war against them. He became very upset at the narration that came from Walid ibn Uqba. And that was the one he sent to find out about Harith's people and his zakat. And out of fear, he fled back to the messenger after only going halfway, and he lied to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet sallallahu, while he was thinking to himself at that time that he would wage war against them, Allah Tabarakahu wa Ta'ala sent down the statement, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, al-ayah. And Qatada, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say that tathabbat min Allah, taking your time and verifying is a mercy and guidance from Allah. وَعَجَّلًا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ, and being hasty and not checking out is from the affairs of the shaitan. And this is narrated by other than that from amongst what you heard from Qatada, from our Salaf, from the people of the past, and this narration that comes in the Sahih of Muslim. Also, there's a narration Uqba ibn Walid, or Walid ibn Uqba. Walid ibn Uqba, he also, in one narration is stated that he even told the Prophet ﷺ that those people who had accepted Islam, when he went to get the zakah, they left Islam. Wal a'yadu billah. So here, we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this issue in the tafsir. You'll find the explanation of At-Tabari, Ibn Kathir, or Ghayri. And this shows that yes, in normal circumstances, if it's verified, the statement of a fasiq can be taken. as opposed to these special circumstances of Rami Bizina wa Lawat, as it relates to someone's honor of being accused, then this is not to be taken. Rather, it needs 4 witnesses or that person telling the authorities, him or herself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, as it relates to the issue of guidance, قال سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب الكريم قد جاءكم بصائر من ربكم, and it has come to you verily insight and guidance from your Lord. فَمَنْ أَبَصَرَ فَلِنَفْسِهِ, so whosoever has this insight and he follows it, then it's for his own self. فَمَنْ عَمِيَ فَعَلَيْهِ, and whosoever is blind to it, then it's a punishment against him, and he will be responsible for that burden. وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ, and I am not upon you except وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ. نعم وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ said, and I am not upon you بِحَفِيظ, except the one who is Hafiz. وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظ, and I am not except one who ماذا بحفيظ. Naam, Surah Al-An'am. And I am not a watcher over you. I am just the one who warns you and tells you that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned to the Prophet ﷺ to mention to the people. Shaykh Ibrahim Tawaj rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned ما يفعل المسلم عند السماع ماذا وما أمر ما يفعل المسلم عند السماع الشائعات. What should a Muslim do when he hears that which is filthy? What should a Muslim do when he hears that which is shameful?